Hello everyone, this is Linux 64 with a new tutorial on how to set up and configure VirtualBox. I'll be starting with the download page that I'll be including in the comments below, installing the Windows client for VirtualBox since I'm running on Windows 8.1. Once the installation is completed, I'll go ahead and launch the executable. And we will be getting our first screen. Go ahead and click next. I will leave everything as the default since I'll be using the majority of these extensions. I'll go ahead and select next. I will be also leaving the majority of these since I do want these options to be installed and configured. I'll go ahead and click next. Then I'll be clicking yes. Then install to start the actual installation. Once the installation is completed, you will get this box. Basically, it will be starting the actual instance for the VirtualBox. So I'll go ahead and click Finish. At this point, the actual application is launched up and ready for you to get started and build your virtual machine. Go ahead and click the New button on the top left corner, which will prompt you for a name. We're going to give it the name, which is, in my case, I'll be installing OpenSUSE. So I'll go ahead and type OpenSUSE, and you can see automatically it picks up the type and the version of the installation. I'll go ahead and click Next. Over here, we'll be selecting the actual RAM. I will go ahead and boost that to 1024 and click Next. Then I'll be creating a virtual hard drive now since I want to configure it right now. Go ahead and create. I'll be selecting the VDI virtual disk image, clicking next, and it will be dynamically allocated. And that would be limited to the 2.5, I would say. Just to keep it simple for the sake of this tutorial, go ahead and click create. At this point, you have the actual shell created. So we're going to go ahead and click start. So it basically picks up that it's a new machine and we can start the loading of the OS procedure. Over here, you'll be selecting where is it going to pick up the actual startup media. And in this case, since it's in the virtual environment, it will be the ISO. Go ahead and click and select the download, or actually select the download location that you downloaded your image. In my case, I did download it under the downloads. Go ahead and select that, click open, and then start. That will launch the actual OS loaded from that ISO. Depending on the OS you're loading, different media will give you different options. In this case, I'll just take you through the process. Will be booting into the installation. We're gonna let that run for a while. It shouldn't take that long. And we will get to our first screen, basically asking us to check out the license agreement. Gonna go ahead and get that started. Go ahead and click next. This will be a new installation, so I'm going to go ahead and click next, and I'll leave everything as a default since I am in the Eastern time zone. And I'll be going with the KDE desktop or with a GNOME desktop if I'm looking for an end user experience. In my case, I'm actually looking for a command prompt minimal server to run and configure different services. I'm going to go ahead and click next. You can see that it would pick up automatically, or actually configure it automatically for the swap and the root volume, which we will keep as default. Go ahead and click next without changing anything, and you can see that we have not actually changed anything. Until this point over here, we're going to select the username. So I'm going to go ahead and type your preferred name. Type the password, which would be used also for the root password. Since we're having this box checked, if you need a separate account, I would uncheck this box and I'll leave it as an automatic login. I'm gonna leave that installation running. Now it's the confirmation page. You can see your settings that you selected in previous pages. You're gonna go ahead and click install, and then the final confirmation install. Gonna leave it running for a bit. I'm gonna pause the video and return on the last screen. And upon the completion of the actual installation, the system would reboot within 5 seconds, and you will get into this screen right after. So we're gonna go ahead and select from to boot from the hard disk, since we do have the installation completed. System will load up. Final configuration is, or the, I would say the automatic configuration is taking place right now. Gonna let it run. And we're gonna go ahead and log in once we see the actual command prompt prompting us for the login information. Gonna use the username and password that we set up during the installation. At this point, we are logged in, and you can confirm by selecting or typing "who am I." It would tell you who you're logged in under. Use the pwd to see where your exact location, and finally we're going to do the uname-a that shows us the actual distribution information, so we can tell we're on Linux and all the information listed above that command. So we're going to go ahead and actually the first step that I highly recommend is shutting down the appliance. So I'm going to go ahead and select the machine from the top left corner, click close, and we are going to power off the machine. Once the machine is powered off, we are going to go ahead and make a backup. Basically use it as a baseline to recover from. Therefore, we don't have to rerun the installation. That way we have always a clean image of that virtual machine. And we're going to go ahead and make that first snapshot by going on the top right side, clicking on snapshots and selecting the take snapshot. We're going to name it baseline configs. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. That way we have a clean baseline configuration and image that we can restore from at any time if we make any mistakes within the OS itself. At any point within the installation, if you make a mistake and you'd like to restore, all you have to do is select the image from the left panel and then go ahead and click the snapshots. Then right clicking and restoring the snapshot should restore it and boot it into the current state of the snapshot. At this point, I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you have any comments or questions, please go ahead and submit it. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be uploading other videos for advanced configuration, and I'll be using this machine later on. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.